We are now on the streets of Akihabara on a really rainy and cold day. And the reason why I brought you guys here today is that I want you to pay really close attention to the city. When you look at Akihabara, to us as in the Western world, we look at Akihabara as the capital of the anime world. But to the average Japanese person, they flood the streets of Akihabara for more than just anime. Surrounding the streets of Akihabara and even Tokyo as a whole contains a syndicate so secretive and convoluted. On the outside, it looks absolutely harmless, but to the people working there, let's just say that there are some secrets being kept. And yes, I'm talking about idol culture. Idols are robots sent by the government of Malaysia to spy your every move and making sure that you're not committing legitimate tax fraud. Honestly, when you look at her, don't you have this small itch to commit a crime or two? But before the Japanese idol police come to my door and abduct me for testing, don't you guys want to learn more about idol lore? Have you ever wondered who is the real person behind the face? How are they able to be confident in their abilities with millions of eyes constantly watching them? Are they truly the pure person they say they are, or are they all just When you watch the first episode of Oshi no Ko, whoever directed it made sure that every scene was carefully planned out. So much care was emphasized into the first episode, it feels like my eyes don't deserve the amount of hard work that was poured into this anime. No corners were cut during the making of this first episode. It immediately immerses you and takes you on a roller coaster of a ride from a funny start to a heart-wrenching finish. And I'll be real, when I saw the length of the first episode, I was like, hey yo, pause. I ain't watching all that. But when I finally had the chance to watch it, I was like, yep, I'm glad I watched all that. A single 23-minute episode would only scratch the surface to what this heavy story entails. I might dare say that it is the strongest first episode to any anime I've seen this past decade. The story follows Koru, a man on a mission to meet her favorite idol, Ai Hoshino. Now that he has completed his life's dream, he does what any sane person would do and commit the die. Ready to step into heaven's door, the multi-billion-dollar Japanese conglomerates led by George Lopez have decided that death is ultimately not base and patriotic, and was ultimately reborn back to square one as a baby. Starring pregnancy speedrun champion Ai. Thank God he wasn't born in Brazil or Tayvon. Now, with everything I just said, who do you think is the main character? Is it him? It's Ai. Yes, in the beginning of the story, we start off with a goofy but honest character in Goru, but the story will soon start to shift in such a dark and twisted way, and you'll realize almost immediately that this first episode was dedicated to only Ai and no one else. Ai Hoshino is that special kind of character that appears once every 10 years. Aka Akasaka has rooted her presence in such a way to ensure that the readers or watchers will always be remembered of her presence. Manga writers spend years trying to find that perfect type of character that can be their manga's poster child. She was truly that rare, immediately hitting the stage with full force and making an everlasting impression in the span of 9 chapters, only for Akasaka to have Ai physically be there in his world for only a mere 9 chapters. Abandoned as a kid, confidence issues, a liar at heart, teen pregnancy, dad went to get milk and cigs and never came back type vibe. All things considered, this isn't a life that someone should be willing to pursue, and yet, with all things considered, she still worked extremely hard to get where she is today. I honestly don't agree with a lot of what she believes in. Depending on the situation, lying in the moment is okay, but the idea of consistently lying to uphold an image could be damaging. But despite the rude comments on the internet or the harsh, unfair reality of her industry, Ai displays qualities of a strong character. She believed what she believed and never allowed anyone to change the way she viewed the world, which is something that's really hard to do without the right type of mindset. I feel like Ai is someone we all want to be, especially if you're the type of person who was born under such harsh conditions. The ability to see all your efforts come to fruition and create a meaningful life to not only yourself, but for your future generation of kids as well. If Oshi no Ko was a stage play, Ai Hoshino was written to never take the lead role, but you can't have Oshi no Ko without Ai. Episode 1 was about no one else but Ai. It's about her life, from a harsh upbringing to a harsh end. We collectively witnessed her amazing accomplishments accomplishment at finally finding what true love felt like, even if it was bittersweet and short-lived. What if Ai isn't really dead? I ain't even a manga reader, but I can guarantee that her presence in the manga will always be around. She'll never come back, which, yeah, kinda sucks, but that's why the kids exist, as both embody what Ai's feelings are, just split apart. It's apparent that as the story progresses, a lot of what they'll do will be heavily influenced by what they grew up with, living with Ai. Both their jobs are pretty simple: to carry a sense of responsibility, a second chance of life their mother has blessed them with, and to make sure that her death isn't in vain. Remember, no one is truly dead until their name is said one last time. And let's just say, this won't be the last time we'll be hearing of Ai Hoshino.